local news leader. This is Passe Partout.
Good morning to you, and I thank you for joining us. Law enforcement officials say the body of the suspect in the Maine mass shooting that killed 18 people has been found. Authorities say he died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Here's more on that new information.
After a desperate manhunt, authorities in Maine found the body of mass shooting suspect Robert Card, the Army reservist accused of opening fire at a bowling alley and a bar on Wednesday. That ends a search that put the entire state on edge for the last 2 days.
I was very elated tonight when I got the call from Commissioner Sawchuk advising me of the revelation of what took place and that Mr. Card is deceased and no longer a threat to our community.
His death may not bring solace to many, but now is a time to heal.
Authorities provided few details about the break in the case. Maine Governor Janet Mills said Card's body was found close to the river in the nearby town of Lisbon Falls.
I know that law enforcement continues to fully investigate all the facts.
On Friday, officials lifted a shelter-in-place order that included tens of thousands of people across the county.
I don't understand.
Wendy Bell's brother, Bill Young, and his 14-year-old son, Aaron, were fatally shot inside the bowling alley.
Can't even go bowling. You can't even go have a drink at a bar or enjoy a meal with your family without fear.
Aaron's family says the teen loved to bowl and was having a lesson from his 76-year-old coach, who was also fatally shot. They were the oldest and youngest victims of the mass shooting that shocked this normally quiet state, where until this week, some residents still didn't lock their doors at night. Laura Hafley, CBS News, Lisbon, Maine.
Closer to home in Lafayette Parish, a Copeland man convicted of manslaughter now has a lighter sentence. Tyler Benoit will be released from prison 8 years earlier. A judge reduced his sentence yesterday after an appeals court decided the original sentence was too harsh. Benoit was convicted of manslaughter after killing Kristen Chasson in 2017 downtown Lafayette. The trial revealed Chasson was trying to help a woman who had fallen while fighting with her boyfriend. Chasson stepped in and it ended with Benoit shooting him. News 10 Britt LaFaso spoke exclusively with the Benoit and Chasson families who were emotional about yesterday's hearing.
It was an emotional morning in the courtroom as both the victim and the killer's families feel that this lighter sentence was unfair.
I understand. I am so sorry that there's someone dead. I am so sorry. I hope somehow this can end in some kind of peace for everyone. It's not going to bring nobody back, but I do not think I shouldn't have my son.
Tyler Benoit's mother believes her son did not deserve the maximum of 40 years, though to her, 32 years is still too much time.
I would like to see him come home eventually. He does not deserve to spend the rest of his life in jail. And all I ask is that the system treat my son as it treats everyone else.
She adds she will keep fighting.
We will continue. There will be an appeal. This will continue to go on until some type of medium is met.
Meanwhile, Kristen Chasson's siblings feel the original sentence handed down by Judge Marilyn Castle was fair.
It's messed up so many ways. I know they're going to continue to appeal and stuff like that, but, I think, it's got to stop there. I mean, somebody was shot and killed, and he needs to hold up to that.
Judge Castle said while she acknowledged that Benoit had no prior felony convictions, his actions were egregious, as Chasson did not provoke Benoit in any way.
No matter what, my brother did the right thing by helping somebody else. And like the judge said, it was a vigorous thing.
For this to continue on as much as it has been, I think it just needs to stop. And, they reduced it down to 32 years, but then he needs to serve his time and be done.
Benoit will serve the 32-year manslaughter sentence concurrently with his 20-year sentence for obstruction of justice. Reporting in Lafayette, Britt LaFaso, KLFY News 10.
Then Lafayette firefighters responded to a house fire on South Misha Road. That was Thursday afternoon. Someone called 911 to report flames coming from the garage and roof of that home. Before firefighters arrived, neighbors entered the home and rescued the family's dog because the owners were out of town. One neighbor describes the flames being so large and the smoke so heavy, the dog would not have made it if others had not stepped in to rescue the animal.
This is totally a shocker. It was just smoke, it was unbelievable, and the flames were huge. One neighbor saved the dog. It's a lab, a white lab, and they rescued the dog, their pet, because it would have not survived.
And thankfully, there were no injuries reported, and the cause of that fire remains under investigation. Well, with the Halloween festivities coming up this weekend, officials are wanting to remind everyone, buzz driving is drunk driving. On the hunt for candy and people heading to and from parties, drivers should be extra cautious on Halloween and the days leading up to it. Between 2017 and 2021, we're told there were 159 drunk drivers related deaths on Halloween night. If you plan on drinking, designate a sober driver, call a taxi, or use rideshare services like Uber or Lyft. In an effort to address long-term housing for the homeless issues, Catholic Charities of Acadiana and the Urban Land Institute are hosting a series of community collaborations called Homeless to Housed. The program is a four-part community collaboration event. It kicked off this week at the Downtown Convention Center. Over 150 people took part in the discussion and collaborated on developing solutions to homelessness throughout Acadiana.
System is backed up. There's not enough available and affordable housing, and so thankfully the Urban Land Institute has partnered with us. They're a national organization that seeks to provide housing solutions from a real estate perspective, and we're really trying to put together the consensus of this group.
Yeah, the four-part process will end in May 2024. Other partners in this effort include the Community Foundation of Acadiana, the Downtown Development Authority, and Downtown Lafayette Unlimited.